Gather around, island lovers. It's Demi and Jasmine with your Fire Pit Chat, your daily dose of all things Love Island. This episode is brought to you by Plant People. Plant People offers solutions for sleep, stress, recovery, cognition, and immunity. And I'll tell you right now, your girls need all of the above. Plant People supplements work because they focus on quality, potency, and absorption. They work with doctors, scientists, and chefs to create delicious products that actually deliver results. Plant People sources from the world's best farms to invest in quality ingredients for effective remedies. I use the anxiety and stress relief supplements to boost my mood and to help me feel calm and honestly closer to a normal person. So check them out at www.plantpeople.co/firepitchat and use code firepitchat for 15% off your order. Okay, so episode 25, we are joined by Rin. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so pumped because it's hard because me and Jasmine are in such a little bubble where we don't know if what we're saying aligns with what everybody else is saying.
Yeah.
And then we get the voting results and we're like, wow, we must be way off. But I'm pumped to have another perspective here too, because I really the way that Love Island is turning now, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. So I kind of want to just get a fresh perspective on the new couples that are forming, maybe past couples. But we start with the episode of Kady and Mitchell having the chat, and Mitchell insists that she's closed off. And it's like I said yesterday, I don't think Kady's into Zach, but then they're like making out in the bed at night.
I know. I don't understand her. She is hard to read. I thought she was so not into it. And then when I saw them pull the covers over their head, I was like, what's happening? What's going on?
I thought she deaded it too.
Yeah.
The thing with Mitchell too is like he keeps saying things kind of like what Zach said in their conversation, where you can't say things, then shoot your shot. Like you can't say things to bring somebody down because you have a motive. Like he did the same thing to Jess.
Yeah, I think Mitch needs to act more like Zach. Like Zach is putting in like the least amount of effort, and he is the one that has gone on 5 dates. Mitch needs to just do less.
Mitch needs to do less.
Yeah.
How is Mitch still here at week 4 though?
Has he been on one date?
Oh my God, I don't even think he's been in a solid couple since Molly, and that was literally because the public put them together.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Crazy. Yeah, because honestly, if this was, were you did you watch winter season last year?
Yeah.
Like if it was winter season, I feel like he would have gone, and like a Medi or a Molly would never have left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't understand. He's just literally coasting.
Yeah. He's lucky to be there, honestly.
He is.
And so now we'll get to Kady and Zach. So they both say that their conversation was super dry, and maybe they were having an off night. And I think they were trying to figure out if that was an off night or if they really just aren't compatible. I think it threw her when he was like, which I didn't know he was a rapper, but I guess he was like, I like to rap and then have my girls just like listen. And
yeah.
I like to Netflix and chill. And I feel like maybe she is right where they're just different and it's not like the opposites attract thing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a gauge on this Zach and Kady thing. I think Zach's trying to figure out Kady. I don't know if Kady likes Zach. I don't know if it's just she's stuck with him.
Yeah, I can't tell. But also, she was mad that Zach said their conversation was dry. And then to Mitch, she's like, our conversation was dry. So it's so what's happening?
Right. And I wonder if she's one of those that got mad that he said something. So then she kind of chalked it up to yeah, it was dry.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I felt like it was ending. And then we did see them in bed, and that really threw me for a loop. I thought that, because then she's like, oh, but our conversation was dry. So that's where she brings up the little remark. And then Zach said something like, oh, that was your shade or something like that. And she was like, yeah. And then we'll get to now Mitchell Kady and Zach. Again, I was saying it was sketchy with Mitchell because he has a motive. And then I'm wondering, like, do you think he knows what he's doing when he drops these liners, or is he like, because he plays dumb so well?
Well, I think I know what he's trying to do. I don't know if it's working, but
Right.
I think he is like, I don't know, throwing it out there, but he just confuses me all around. He's like, "Yeah, I'm your wingman." And then he's like not acting like a wingman at all. Definitely trying to throw him under the bus. So it's like I think like was trying to shoot his shot, and when he didn't think it was working, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just trying to be your wingman or whatever." And it's like, I don't. It's not working.
Right. It was like when he did that thing with Zach and Molly in the beginning where he was like, did one for the team. And we're like, no, you did it for you. So
Yeah.
do you believe that you are being a good friend, but then you talk shit basically about the guy to make that your game plan to get them? It's
Right.
so bizarre.
I know. I don't understand.
Again, Mitchell is from Mars. He makes
He is.
I wonder, he's definitely going to be around for Casa, and I wonder if any girls watching this now will go into Casa being like, "I want Mitch," you know?
Well, I also, after this episode especially, I kept feeling like he was kind of like a Ron from last season, where it's like, you're not in with the guys, they don't like you. So it's like, there's something off about a guy who doesn't get along with the guys.
So true. That's so true. It's such a good comparison to Ron because he did have Kai, but I feel like, but then again, like when I did watch the unseen bits, it was like Zach and Mitch like were friends, like were,
Yeah.
but I do feel like people just don't like him. They're like stuck with him,
Yeah.
like Ron. But then that leads me to Scott and Catherine. First of all, I feel like I know I'm jumping ahead, but I want to talk about it. Where I feel like we're maybe missing conversations that Scott is acting weird because to us he looks normal. If anything, I feel like he doesn't say that he likes Catherine enough.
Yeah, I also feel like we just haven't seen much of them at all. Like
Right.
it's one of those things where like you can see them talking in the background, but we never really know what they're talking about. We don't hear much about what conversations they're having.
Right.
So I don't know what it looks like in there, or if Ty was just trying to start something. I don't know.
I know, and people on Twitter were like, Ty acting like he knows what a relationship is.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? But I found it but I found it weird, but that they were all sitting by the pool talking about him. It seems like Montel and then whoever brought it up by the pool were talking about it at the exact same moment. It's like they
Mhm.
like planned to bring it up.
Yeah.
So they were saying how they think Scott randomly says the right thing out of the middle of nowhere, I guess, which would
Mhm.
be nice. Like get some like back story on that, or like at least we could see that.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, just like when he's with the guys, he randomly says that, or when Catherine's there, he's like, I don't know, we haven't seen that, and so it just seems super random that they brought it up.
Right. And then Ty says, you can tell Ty was like annoyed with Scott, which makes me think that they don't like Scott. But then Scott is literally always with Catherine. Or
Mhm.
it's like he actually doesn't like to hang out with the guys, I feel like.
Yeah.
So wouldn't the fact that Scott and Catherine, yeah, Scott, Catherine, and Whitney hang out all the time, but Scott
Mhm.
and Catherine are always together, like, wouldn't that show that they like each other? And then Whitney and Ella were very what's it called? They stood up for Catherine
Yeah.
scenario, which I really liked how Ella like didn't feed into all of that. Like she really like had
Mhm.
her back. And she was like, well, I thought that too until I hung out with them. So I don't know what's going
Well,
on.
also, wasn't Ella like standing up for Meddy and Whitney? Wasn't Ty saying something about Meddy too?
Oh yeah.
So it's like, what's the deal? And then Ella always has to be like, "Oh, I don't think that," or defend her friends.
That's so true. I wonder if it's like Ty just being Ty, because Ty was like, well, I'm not gonna in the tomorrow night preview. He was like, well, I'm not gonna just go up to her and repeat the things. And then he was like, yeah, Scott's always like, oh, I really like Catherine out of the middle of nowhere, man, shut up. Like it was like kind of like violent toward.
Yeah.
I was so thrown off at that. I feel like Scott like puts his head down, doesn't bother anybody. So why do we have these problems?
I don't know.
But then Twitter was like, Ty has been maybe talking shit about Catherine, but I haven't seen that. Have you? Where Ty kind of hates on Catherine?
No, and also why would he? Isn't Catherine like Ella's best friend in there?
Right.
I feel like Ella would not stand for that.
No, not at all. Which clearly she was like not entertaining it when they were all talking about it.
Yeah.
But then Montel being like to Whitney, nah, I don't think that's genuine. I just don't know how that wouldn't be genuine. If you're not genuine, like wouldn't you just like be in bed together, but then like kind of be distant during the day?
Yeah, they're always together. So obviously he likes her.
Right. Right. I wonder what they're doing there. So I thought that was confusing. But then Sammy and Jess. Okay. Oh my God. What do you think about Sammy and Jess?
I think Sammy is definitely playing the game. The second Mal was voted off, he's like, oh, people didn't like her? Well, I don't like her anymore. And then he's like, people like Jess? I'm coming back for Jess.
Oh my God. It's so right. He did not even take a second to mourn Mal.
No.
As if Mal literally didn't exist.
Right.
Like at least Zach kind of brought up Molly for the next day. Like a little bit. But it's crazy how they just like, maybe they don't edit it to show us, but it's wild how it's just like they leave and then on to the next. Which I get.
I mean, when Mal showed up, wasn't Sammy like, oh, Jess isn't my type anyways, like making all these comments about her. And now that Mal's gone, he's all on Jess again.
That was so wild. The fact that
so wild.
He was like, first of all, when you're in the beach hut and you're like, she wasn't my type.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, do you know what that makes you look like?
That's so mean.
So mean. I really don't think Sammy is into Jess.
No, I don't think so either. And it makes me sad because I think Jess is so into Sammy.
Yeah. I know. Okay, I was really wondering if it was I'm blinded by my hater blockers for Sammy because I find he's entertaining, but there's just I just do not see Sammy and Jess together. But everybody in the villa are like, you guys make such a good couple. You guys are so, you guys are such a good match. And I'm like, what is going on?
Well, I don't think Sammy would be a good match with anyone. I just feel like everything he says is not genuine. So maybe they just see something different in the villa. But from my end, like, it didn't even seem genuine with Mal. Like, I don't know.
Right. I did feel like a little bit more I could see with Mel and Sammy than Jess and Sammy. I just feel like immediately if they continued, he would block her number and ghost her.
Yes, definitely.
Right when he gets out of the villa. And so I really hope I love when Casa people come in and they tell everybody what's really happening. Like, I hope someone comes in like strictly for Jess and be like, you're way more into Sammy than he is into you. This is what it looks like. That would be so ideal, but I really don't. I feel like she's going to be loyal. It's going to be like an Amber and what was that guy's name? Do you remember him? The short guy?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his name.
Never remember his name. He's so forgettable, but I feel like it'll be that. She'll stay loyal to him and he won't for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And she, no matter who comes in, even if they're just for Jess, she's not going to be into it, I don't think.
I know. It's so sad. I hate when that happens.
I know.
And then, I did want to talk about the fact when Catherine and Scott were sitting there and Catherine was getting really upset and she started crying. Like, that was so sweet. I I really feel for Catherine. I think she's definitely an empath, so she like feeds off of emotion. But I don't like how it was coming off cattiness, and I thought the way Scott comforted Catherine was really sweet. But then some shots, I'm like, could you have shown a little bit more? Like, are you for her? I can't handle the stress of Scott. It's like you're just waiting for the shoe to drop with them.
I know, and I don't want it to because Catherine is so sweet and is definitely, I think, the most genuine one there. And so it's like, protect her. We need to protect her.
What happened in Casa for them?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I feel like they'll both stay loyal.
I hope so.
I don't think Scott will, because Scott really was obsessed with Kady, and he didn't even, like, I didn't even see one conversation with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just didn't jive, but I don't know. We'll see with that. And so then they go on the dates, Sammy and Jess. Oh my God. Wait, we didn't even talk about Whitney and Zach. What is going on here?
Okay. Did they say that that was only their second conversation that they've ever had? Did you hear that?
Yes, but I feel like, I didn't know if it was ever or if it was like maybe like maybe it was actually.
I thought it was ever, and I was like, this is the second time you've ever talked? Like, what have you guys been doing?
It could make sense. She was ready, and he was dating a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Busy. I find, like, so right now I'm finding this new arc very weird. Like, I feel like it almost shuffled too many couples where it shuffled Zach and Molly, it shuffled Meddy and Whitney, Sammy and Mal, where I'm finding it hard to, like, they're finding their footing. So I feel like Whitney is grasping for straws. I don't know what Zach is doing. I feel like he just maybe likes the attention that Whitney's giving him because Kady really gives nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with Kady, she's one of those people who so pretty, doesn't need to work for like conversations because guys are so into her. They're always like starting conversations with her. Yeah. And I feel like Zach's also kind of that guy where he doesn't really have to carry the conversation.
So true. And they're both
so when they're together, they're like, wait, I thought you were going to talk. And they're like, no, I thought you were going to talk.
That is hysterical. That is so true. They're both just too hot to like do anything.
They're like too hot for each other.
I know, because the dynamic, you really need to have someone to like help balance that out for you.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I agree. I think Zach and Kady or whatever. I also think Whitney is so easy to talk to that that the chat anybody would find her chat easy and fun. Yeah. That's just her personality. I feel like she's just a flirty by nature. Like every time she left Meddy, she would go talk to Montel and have that same. She definitely has like a distinctive flirtiness. Like do you think Whitney is being a little like in your face to Kady when she got upset?
I don't know. It's hard because like when you're sitting with the girls, you're going to talk about how the date went and all these things. And maybe it just like didn't even occur to her. I don't think it's intentional. I don't want to think it's intentional.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it from Kady's side being like, what the heck? Like, you're not even going to pretend like you care about my feelings.
No, Whitney does not care about her feelings.
No.
No, and the fact that Whitney said that comment yesterday that was like, I'm waiting to see who I mesh will. I'm waiting to see their energy back because if I try, I'm going to win. So she's so confident. I don't think Kady is even like a thought on her, like a blimp on her radar. I do think Whitney, I get what you're saying. Like, it is so awkward to come back. I always get cringe when girls are like feeling other people's girls guy, and they start talking about him and the other person's just like sitting there awkwardly, like listening to it. That's so awkward. So I just hope, I don't know, I can kind of see it. I wondered why Kady cried. I don't know about that, but she was very confrontational with Mitch.
Yeah.
That was
cool. She was. I know.
Zach's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
And she's like, no, we're doing this. It's like, oh my God.
I know, I'm like, maybe that's why you were brought in here, because I didn't watch season 2 with her. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's a lot different now, obviously.
Yeah, it was weird because like her doing that was definitely like brought me back to season 2. But this whole time she's been so chilled and level headed. I'm like, this is not who she was. But then you see a little bit of that when she's like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah. I also I mean, you see things and hear things, but people were like, she has like a secret boyfriend on the outside and she just came in here to like get
What? I did not hear that.
That was like the second time I've seen that, where it was like Kady's secret boyfriend and she just came in here to like boost ratings, kind of like Adam Collar did. Like he definitely just did that to like get his gym off.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess how she moves in Casa will be interesting, because she's definitely going and she doesn't care about Zach. And I think guys will really love her.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, again, she's really pretty, so we need like a funny guy to like balance her out. So true. Okay, so the dates were iffy on that, on Zach and Whitney. What do you think that's a thing?
I don't know. I mean, Whitney, like you said, she's got the flirt with everyone that she talks to, so she like can carry the conversation and keep it going. But I don't know if Zach's not into it. Do you think he is?
I really don't know. The fact that I didn't really know what he did, the fact that he is a rapper, or maybe he's in like I don't know, I did not know he was a rapper, but it would make sense that he would have someone more like they said, they're both from East London or whatever, South London. I don't know where they were from, but from the same place. They speak the same language. I definitely think there's like, even though they're speaking the same language, but with him and Kady, there is like the way he talks, like he calls her man. He's very a little like ghetto, and I think she's very like proper. And I don't see how that would mesh well in the outside. And I think she sees that, and then she did say it's dead at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what that is. And what did I say? Ty and Montel sit mid combo. Oh, they sit. Oh, because then Kady is crying to Leah. So that whole situation was interesting.
It was interesting. Like she was kind of emotional, and then when they sat down, she started like full on crying, and they were like, bye.
Tyree's face was like you need to get the fuck out of here. Which I feel like did come out of nowhere. I don't know why she's crying. Maybe I don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah, like I hope that Zach doesn't think I'm crying over him, and it's like, oh, well then why are you crying?
Right, exactly. Maybe it's a little. I feel like it maybe is cliquey in there. I don't know, but not as cliquey as last season. And then we have the preview for tomorrow. I feel like that was kind of it from this episode. I kind of got a weird feeling when I was done watching this episode. Like,
yeah, I think like you said, there's so many changes. It's like kind of hard to even keep up with at this point. Like this episode was a lot. A lot happened.
right.
Like even I did want to say when Sammy and Jess were like saying bye on the date, did you see she like went in for the hug and he like went in for the makeout? I was like,
yeah, he's
going in.
Yeah. Is he playing a game? Yeah.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But then it's like you could have dropped that. Like you could have dropped Jess. But then again, like you said, she is a favorite. Mm-hmm. So he might be doing that. And then someone was saying, well, Zach notices that Whitney's a favorite. So maybe that's why. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Oh my God, wait. The conversation between Kady and Zach when they were sitting by the kitchen, and she was like, well, I'm not going to put all my effort in to know, where we're going for the future. I want to date for the future. And he was like, oh, future. Like, how awkward was Zach in that conversation? He gave her no info.
No info.
And then he was like kind of taken back at how she was like, do you think we're too distant? Do you think that we're going in the right path? And he was like, oh, I just like to keep it chill. And she kind of like, and then he like gets up and walks away. He's like, let's go be social. And she
And
like,
just left her. I think
are
so bizarre. Kady wants a man who she can like settle down with. Zach wants like a groupie. He's like, yeah, when I hang out with girls, we listen to my music. It's like, that's it.
so true. I know. And they're like, you have to have more conversation. He's like, I'm not forcing conversation. It's like, what do you mean?
It's
What do
not forcing. Be normal.
Exactly. Like your conversation can't all be just like what you and Whitney, which is just flirty. That's literally, there's no substance to that.
But wasn't that how it was like with Molly? Like, what did they actually talk about ever?
True. What did you do you think? Okay, because then Molly was spotted in Ibiza. So people think that she's now like in Spain, because that's where they are, right? They think that she's in Spain now to be back on Casa. Like it was, I saw her story and I was like, weird. She just traveled right back over there when she just left. And
Do you
then
think they would do that?
I think they would do that. It's literally all over. Look up like Molly and Casa. It's like Molly confirms she's going back on Casa because of this trip. It was so bizarre. Why would you go back to Spain when you just got home? Literally like 3 days later.
Yeah.
And I got the weird feeling when I watched her story and then I saw that. So I feel like it might be right. And I was right and Jasmine was wrong.
I'd be kind of down for it.
Me too. You know, like I didn't like them at first, but the way that this storyline with Zach is going, I actually would not mind if I saw Zach and Molly back together. I think that would actually be really good.
Yeah, it's not working with anyone else. Might as well try her again.
I know, right? And I feel like she would be the perfect groupie.
Yes.
That's what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
She would be the girl singing in the car to his music. Like he wants a hype girl, like you said, someone to worship what he's doing. And that is totally Molly.
Yeah.
Kady's like, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. She's not into it.
Oh my God. So I really do think Molly's coming back.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten any people, like we haven't gotten any Casa people. Like I have no idea what they look like. Like that's gonna be good. I think they're gonna come back Sunday. So tomorrow might be like this whole Scott and Catherine blowout. Which is so random because we've been dying to see Catherine and Scott, and then now you're like showing us some weird turmoil. So we're like, okay. So I guess we'll just see about tomorrow. Yeah.
I am excited. I literally got chills when they put the Casa Amor thing on. I was like, oh, thank God it's finally here.
I know. I did want like stronger couples though to be like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? But we always have Ty to fuck it up. So
oh yeah, we know he will.
I know it's gonna be so good. Oh my God. Literally, don't tell Jasmine, but I really enjoyed having you as a co-host.
Oh, thank you.
Don't like them better than me.
I know. She was like, I hope no one's funnier than me. And I'm like, no one's going to be funnier than you. So don't you worry about it.
Sits there and like says the funniest one-liners. Like that's so Jasmine. But okay, let's wrap this up because my camera is about to die. So thank you guys all for listening to Fire Pit Chat, your daily dose of all things Love Island. I'm your host, Demi. And this is Ren, and we appreciate you listening. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review and share with your fellow island lover. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh my God.
Bye.
Bye. I know, you got to do the